He was a mystery, a street legend, feared by gangsters, respected by rappers, and whispered about in some of the darkest corners of hip-hop history. Haitian Jack, the name alone sparks controversy. To some, he was a smooth operator with powerful connections in the music industry. To others, a ruthless gangster whose name was tied to one of the most tragic turning points in rap: the 1994 quad studio shooting of hip-hop legend Tupac Shakur. But who was Haitian Jack? What was his real story? Is it true he took Diddy's Rolex watch without even using a weapon? And why, decades later, is his name still surrounded by fear, myth, and conspiracy? This is the story of a man who never rapped a verse, but may have changed the course of hip-hop history forever. The untold story of one of New York's most infamous street legends. This is the Haitian Jack story. In the mid-1980s, Haiti was in crisis under the Duvalier regime. Jack's family, well-to-do and politically connected, fled poverty and violence, settling in East Flatbush, Brooklyn in 1986. The young Jacques Agnet arrived in New York, speaking only French, an outsider in the rough streets of Bedford-Stuyvesant. Bullied in school, he learned quickly that survival meant becoming tough. By his teens, Jack had turned to crime. He built a small empire of street robbery, targeting local drug dealers. His crew became known on the streets as the Black Mafia, with Jack at its center. He used quick wits and firepower to forge a reputation. By age 18, he was already feared on the block as a shooter. As the 1980s turned to the crack era, the lines between the streets and the music industry blurred. Drugs needed laundering, crews met at clubs, and hustlers mingled with stars. Haitian Jack seized this moment. He left behind the back alley robberies to become a promoter and connector. Party promoters respected him, and DJs waved him in. Athletes like boxing champion Mike Tyson, the late fashion designer Gianni Versace, even Madonna, they all crossed his path. He became a celebrity in his own right, a self-styled king of thieves, the nickname his father gave to him as a child. In 1993, a chance meeting would change everything. Tupac Shakur was in New York, filming Above the Rim, a movie about basketball and gangsters. On a Manhattan club night, Tupac spotted Jack, surrounded by models and champagne. Curious, he asked for an introduction. The two hit it off instantly. Jack gave him a taste of the lavish life: high-end jewelry, Versace clothes, and bottles of expensive champagne. But Jack also opened Tupac's eyes to street credibility, introducing him to Brooklyn gangsters and cementing the tough image Tupac craved. To Tupac, Jack was a mentor and even inspired his movie character, Birdie, in Above the Rim. But others, notably his friend Christopher Notorious B.I.G. Wallace, worried. Biggie had grown up in those same circles, and he warned Tupac to stay clear of Jack. Biggie thought Jack represented trouble. Tupac ignored the advice. Rumor has it, Tupac even went back to Jack and told him what Biggie had said about him. The wild nightlife soon took a darker turn. On a night in November 1993, Tupac and Jack partied at Nell's, a ritzy New York City club. There, a 19-year-old waitress named Ayanna Jackson danced with Tupac and Jack. That evening, Tupac invited Jackson to his luxury hotel suite. 4 days later, Jackson returned alone, only to be joined by Tupac, Haitian Jack, and 2 associates. Hours later, she alleged she had been sexually assaulted by the men. The next morning, police arrived. Tupac, Haitian Jack, and Tupac's road manager were arrested on charges of first-degree sexual abuse, sodomy, and weapons possession. In court, the prosecution claimed Tupac had offered up Ayanna Jackson as a reward, charges Tupac vehemently denied. Legally, Jack emerged relatively unscathed. His case was separated from Tupac's. In a deal, Jack pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts, drawing only probation and a fine, no jail time. Tupac, however, was convicted of sexual abuse and sent to prison in 1994. Feeling betrayed, Tupac publicly blamed Haitian Jack for the setup. He told reporters he believed Jack had been an informant, setting him up with Jackson. Jack, for his part, denied any setup and maintained his innocence in the affair. The mistrust shattered their friendship. Jack has claimed in interviews that Tupac was jealous of him and his relationship with a famous pop singer that Tupac was once dating. That singer was none other than Madonna. After Tupac broke up with Madonna, Jack started dating the pop singer, and that made Tupac angry and bitter towards Jack, which led to betrayal and the attempt on Tupac's life at Quad Studios in Manhattan. Tensions boiled over 1 year later. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac was due to record at Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan. He arrived with 2 friends, invited by rapper Little Sean, to feature on one of his new songs. Little Sean's manager was Jimmy Henchman, an old friend of Haitian Jack's. Inside the studio building, 2 armed men in camouflage jackets entered the lobby. They confronted Tupac and his entourage, demanded valuables, and opened fire, shooting Tupac 5 times. It was a brazen hit. Tupac knew he was lucky to survive. Shaken, he believed the ambush was retribution. In the hospital and beyond, Tupac grew convinced his old friend Biggie had known about the hit, and by extension, blamed anyone in Biggie's circles, including Haitian Jack. Let's break down what we know already about the Quad Studio shooting. Rumor has it the gunmen in the incident were from Brooklyn and associates of Jack and Jimmy Henchman. One of the assailants was none other than Walter King Tut Johnson, a famous stick-up kid and member of Jack's Black Mafia crew. Although King Tut has denied any involvement in the shooting, the street myths and urban legends paint a different picture. In interviews, Jack maintained he wasn't part of the Quad Studio shooting. Investigators later focused elsewhere. Meanwhile, Tupac took revenge on wax. In his 1996 track, Against All Odds, he directly named Haitian Jack as a snitch who betrayed him. He also called out Jimmy Henchman as the ringleader behind everything. This became one of hip-hop's most notorious callouts. Meanwhile, Haitian Jack kept forging a career in music on legitimate terms. In 1995, he became director of A&R for Undies Records, a label co-founded by his old friend Lance Rivera, who was also Biggie's partner. In 1999, Jack even worked security for music executive Steve Stout after an infamous incident where Sean Diddy Combs broke a champagne bottle over Stout's head. Jack and Diddy had a history of bad blood dating back to the early days of Bad Boy Records. According to street lore and multiple industry insiders, Jack had a falling out with Diddy over an unpaid debt tied to a party or a show appearance. The details are murky, but the outcome was loud. Jack confronted Diddy at a New York City club and snatched his diamond-encrusted Rolex right off his wrist in front of a stunned crowd. It was a message. Jack wasn't to be played with. The story spread like wildfire in the streets. Diddy didn't retaliate, and that silence only added to Jack's growing legend. While the incident was never officially confirmed by Diddy, insiders say it marked a turning point. Jack was no longer just a behind-the-scenes figure, he was becoming a myth. He was hip-hop's version of Frank White. And in a world where image was everything, being associated with Haitian Jack meant power and danger. Tupac's death in 1996 only magnified the legends. Soon after, Haitian Jack sued Tupac's estate for $200 million, claiming Tupac's estate and death row had smeared him with the song Against All Odds. The claim was dismissed in 1998. His alliances also turned violent. Haitian Jack had introduced Tupac to the rising executive Jimmy Henchman. But Jack and Henchman also fell out, reportedly exchanging gunfire at a Miami nightclub in the early 2000s. The friendship fractured amid rumors, loyalty tests, and greed. Haitian Jack's luck eventually ran out. In 2004, now in Los Angeles, he was involved in another shooting. Police charged Jack in the case. He was convicted and spent time in prison. Afterward, as an immigrant, he faced deportation. In 2007, Jacques Agnant was sent back to his place of birth, Haiti. He moved to the Dominican Republic for a time, though he still held on to his ties to New York and hip-hop. Over the decades, street lore painted Jack in many colors. Some call him a gangster-turned-promoter, even the Haitian Scarface of hip-hop. Others label him a master manipulator. Haitian Jack symbolizes a moment in hip-hop history when rap crossed over with street hustling. He helped define the flashy gangster persona: gold Rolexes, power suits, expensive women and drugs, the live-by-the-code lifestyle that many rappers glamorized. Tupac admitted Jack taught him the life he was playing. Jacques Haitian Jack Agnant's life is a mosaic of memory. He came from humble origins to mingle with legends, only to end up exiled. We may never know all the truths behind the headlines. Who really pulled the trigger? Who betrayed whom? What remains is the image of Jack in hip-hop lore, flashing his gold, rolling through Brooklyn with swagger. For audiences today, Haitian Jack stands as a reminder of an era when the streets and studios collided. He affected icons like Tupac, Diddy, Notorious B.I.G., and he won't be forgotten, whether as villain or enigma. His story is woven into the history of 90s hip-hop. Do you think Haitian Jack really set up Tupac? Was he a victim of media exaggeration, or did his reputation match his actions? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the untold story of Haitian Jack, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video.
The Lost Documentaries.